Hi guys, welcome and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I'm going to be showing you how to make this crochet iPhone pockets tutorial. Yes, the Apple recently released their iPhone pocket and I've been seeing it everywhere, and just so you know, you can also crochet this. That's why it's actually good to be a crocheter. That's one of the benefits of being a crocheter. And yeah, I've been seeing crocheters like make this and I decided to try mine out. Yes, and this is a very simple process to follow, and this is very much beginner friendly. Even as a beginner crocheter, you can definitely make this, so no need to worry and no need to fear. And for this pattern of and for this crochet iPhone pocket, I'm going to be releasing about 3 tutorials for this, because there are different methods and different ways and different stitches to like recreate this crochet iPhone pocket. Yeah, and this is how it is like. Like this. So you insert the phone into the spots, into this part here, and tada, you have your iPhone pocket. So yeah, this is the pocket to carry the iPhone. So this is very lightweight, and this is very cute. I just really love this fact that iPhone was able to like release this, and as a crocheter I was able to like recreate it. So guys, let's leave all the talk and let's get right into the tutorial. Okay, so the materials needed for this work, you're going to be making use of a ball of yarn, and this is a 40-gram yarn, and it's a 3-ply yarn, and I'm going to be doubling the strand, making it 6-ply. Yes, and we are going to be making use of a 4.5mm crochet hook. But for this crochet hook, you can decide to go with a 4.0mm crochet hook or any hook size of your choice. But don't forget that your tension also matters. Yeah, and you're going to be making use of your measuring tape, and this measuring tape will be used to measure the length and also the width of your iPhone pocket, and also take into consideration the size of your phone. And I'm going to be making a standard size, yes, that can fit any crochet iPhone. Yeah, and we're going to be making use of scissors to cut, and we're going to be making use of a darning needle to sew the 2 panels together, because this pattern consists of making 2 panels which are then folded together to form the crochet iPhone pocket, and then we'll sew them together. And then we're making use of a stitch marker to mark our stitches to not get to sew, get to stop. Yeah, so that's basically it. So let's get right into it. Okay, so for this pattern, the first thing you're going to do, you're going to make a slip knot. You're going to make a slip knot, then insert your hook into that slip knot, and then you're going to make a chain, and this chain is going to determine how long your crochet iPhone pocket is going to be like. So for this, I'm making a small size or a medium size, and for this iPhone pocket I made 65 chains, but for this one I want to make about 70 or 75 chains. Yes, so just make a chain that is long enough, and remember this crochet chain is going to determine how long yours is. But if you're making something longer, I would recommend that you should crochet till about 80 centimeter. Yes, 80 centimeter. That is actually better. So yeah, so I'll keep crocheting and I'll tell you how many chains I made. Yeah, so 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'll meet you guys when I'm done with my 70 or 75 chains. Yeah, okay guys, so I ended up making 70 chains, and let's measure this to see how long it is. This is reaching about 46 centimeter. Yeah, so if it was around 65 chains, it would be around 40 centimeter. Yeah, so that's basically it. So once you have that chain, so you're now going to make an extra chain of 1, which is going to be your turning chain. And then after that, you're now going to turn your work like this, because we are going to be crocheting in the back bump. Turn your work like this. In the second chain, go to the back bump and insert your hook there. Oh yeah, and I forgot to tell you, ensure that your stitches are not too tight so that you'll be able to insert your hook properly through that back bump, because it can be a bit difficult to insert the hook there like this, and then make a single crochet. So we are going to be making 1 single crochet in each and every back bump of each chain that we made. Yes, you're going to be making single crochet in each and every back bump that you made. So that is 2. I don't know if you see, this is the backbone. Yeah, this is the front, and then turn it to the back. This is the backbone. So continue to make one single crochet in the backbone until you reach the end. So yeah, just continue to make this single crochet, one single crochet in each and every stitch of the backbone until you reach the end, and I'll meet you guys when I'm there. Okay guys, so I am done putting one single crochet in every chain on the backbone, and this is what you should be having. Yeah, this is what you should be having. So for round 2 or row 2, you're going to make a chain of 1. Let me zoom that in. Make a chain of 1, turn your work, and then you're not going to insert one single crochet in this first stitch, but you're not going to be inserting it on this thing through the 2 loops. You're going to be inserting it through the back loop. Remember, when you crochet, you have like 2 loops, but you're not going to be inserting it into the back loop. So make one single crochet in the back loop. So this is a process of making, like, we like say a ribbon stitch. Yeah, we are going to be inserting one single crochet in every back loop of your work until you reach the end. Yeah, so just insert one single crochet in every back loop of each stitch until you reach the end, and then I'll show you what to do after that. So we have done this to the end, and for the end, it's optional for you to pass this hook through 2 loops like this. Pass it through 2 loops like this, and then make a single crochet, or you can just pass it through the back loop like this. Sorry about that. Pass it through the back loop like this. So it depends on what you want, or how you want it to be like. Yeah, it depends on how you want it. So yeah, so for the remaining rows of this your work, you're going to make it repeating row 2, and you know the pattern for row 2 is chain 1, turn your work, and then make one single crochet in the back loop of every single crochet stitch. Yeah, so that's basically what you're going to be doing throughout this work, and I'm going to be repeating round 2 or row 2 for 15 rows. Yes, so I'll meet you guys when I am done with my 15 rows, and then I'll show you what to do after that. Yes. Okay, so I have gotten to the end of round 15. Yeah, and this is what we are having. I remember, like I said, you're going to insert this at the end between the 2 loops if you want to, or insert it only on the back loop if you want to. So this is what you should be having. So this is what 15 rows looks like. Yes. So the next thing to, you're just going to make a chain of 1, and then you're going to cut your yarn. So yeah, so for this pattern, I'm going to repeat this process of this same process for another panel. Yes, because we have 2 panels which we are going to join together by folding it like this. Then the second panel will also be folded. Then we are going to sew at this point and then sew at this point. Yeah, that's basically what we did for this. So these are 2 panels that are joined together. So I'm just going to repeat exactly what I did here for another panel. Yes, so I'll meet you guys when I am done with my second panel. I'll show you what to do after that. Okay guys, so I am done with my 2 panels. Yeah, I'm done with my 2 panels. And before we proceed to do the sewing, I would prefer that you cut off these loose ends to avoid stress during when you're sewing. So I'll just sew my loose ends, or cut it off, or burn it, anyone you decide to do. Yeah, I'll get back to you when I'm done with that. So I am done with sewing my loose ends. So the next thing we are going to do, you're going to place this together on top of each other. And before you place it on top of each other, this is going to be the inside out. Like, this is the inside of the work before, because we are going to be turning it to the front. What I mean by inside out, this is the front of the work. This is the front of the work, and this is the inside out of the work. Oopsie, what is this? This is the inside out of the work. and this is where we sewed the work together, and then we turned it back to the front. So yeah, before you do that, ensure that when you're placing it like this, because you're going to sew from the inside, then you're not going to turn it to the back. So this is how the front is going to look like. So ensure here and here looks the same way, because it's going to be the front, and then you're going to turn it like this, then you're not going to sew. Yeah, I don't know if you get what I mean, but yeah. So before, to determine how long here is going to be the sewing here, because here is going to be an opening, just like this. This is going to be the opening. So for my length here, for this length here is going to be 16 centimeter. So I'm just going to measure 60 centimeter here. 16 centimeter. It's going to be 16 centimeter. So you have 16 centimeter here. So I'll mark it here. Mark it on this stitch here. And then it's also going to also be 16 centimeter here too. Yes, 16 centimeter too. So just trace that out. Just trace it here. But if you're not sure, if you don't want to trace it out, you can just count the stitches. Yeah, count it to determine where and where to put it. And for here it's going to be 13 centimeter. Yeah, say 13, sorry. I mean, that is going to be 3 centimeter. So yes, we're going to sew at this point first. Okay, so for this top, you can either do it as 3 centimeter or 2.5, but I want to go for 2.5 centimeter. Yes, for this top I'm going to go for 2.5 centimeter. So I'm going to mark at this point, this stitch here. I can't find my other stitch markers, so I'm improvising with this thing, a safety pin. So I'll mark at this point here. So this is for this panel. So I'm going to hold this in place, and then you're going to sew it from here to here. So you're going to be carrying your work along, because remember, it's the same width, it's the same length, it's the same length. So you don't have to necessarily mark this one again. As you're going with this, you're just going to be going along, and then you're not going to stop here, and then you're also going to sew here, and you're going to stop here. Yeah, so okay, so I have put my yarn in a needle. Yes, so you're just going to start sewing down like this. So to do that, going to insert your hook in this first part here. I always like starting so it will be secure. Then insert it again in this part here, like this, and then pull your thread, your yarn through. And then how I like to secure here, I will take this part here. I won't thread it thoroughly and through it fully. I'll take this part here and then insert my hook inside here, and then tie it there for it to be secure so it doesn't move. Yeah. So after that, I'm now going to insert my hook in the back loop of every stitch. So I'm going to be inserting my hook in the back loop of this panel here, the stitch of this panel here, and the back loop of this other panel. So what I'm doing is the invisible sewing method. This is the invisible sewing method. Yeah. Then insert your hook again, your needle again through the back loop of this panel, and then the back loop of this other panel, like this, and then sew. Just going through the back loop of this one, go through the back loop of this one, and then sew. So keep doing this, keep sewing like this, and then I will meet you when I am at this point. Yes, I'll meet you when I am at this point. So keep sewing like that. Yeah, I'll meet you when I'm here. But it's not necessarily for you to do the 16 inches. Just do the length that you want, but ensure you measure it and let it be the standard size for like iPhones or your phone. Yeah. Okay, so we have reached this part where the stitch marker is. Let me zoom that in. So remove your stitch marker here. remove your stitch marker, drop it. And this one, you're not going to go through only the back loop, you're going to go through the back and front loop. You're going to go through both loops on this panel. You're also going to go through the both loops on this other panel. Yeah, because that's the last stitch. And then I'm not going to take, let me zoom that out. I'm not going to take this and tie, because I always like to tie it twice. I always want to go through it again and then double it and then tie it. Yeah, so that is how I finish it. And then cut your yarn. Yeah, so this is what I am having. This is what I am having. So this is the front. Yeah. So this is how it looks like. So just repeat the same thing you did here for here. Yes, repeat the same thing you did here for here. And then I'll show you how to do this part again. But this part is just basically the repetition of just sew it the exact same way here and also sew it the exact same way here. Yes, sew here and then sew here too. Yeah, so that's basically it. So I'll meet you when I'm done with this part. Okay guys, so I am done sewing this part. Yeah, so this is how it's looking like. Done sewing here and also sewing here. So the next part to sew now is to sew this 2.5 inch. We measured here and 2.5 inch, and then I'll show you now how to sew the top. So just repeat the same process of sewing, but for this I'm going to be sewing from top to bottom, but you can try to sew from bottom to top, anywhere in the side. So I'll meet you when I'm done with this. Okay, so I am done sewing here and here. So you will now turn your work like this. You will now turn your work down like this. Yeah, here's what you should be having at this point. What you should be having. Remember, this is the inside out, and we'll still turn this to the front. And then the next thing you're going to do, you're not going to sew here, and you're going to sew here. So let me show you how to do that. So to do this, basically hold it well so that this part will be in the middle. Hold this properly so it will be equal before you sew. And then take it inside here, take it inside here. So for this sewing method, you can basically sew it anyhow you want to sew it, but just ensure it's covered. And I'm just going to be passing this through the stitches here. Yes, I'm going to be passing through the stitches here like this. Let's see. Going back and forth. So you can, there is no definite way to sew this part because the stitches aren't really clear. So just sew it anyhow you want to sew it, but ensure that it is neat. Yes, ensure it is neat. So I'll meet you when I am done sewing this part. So we have reached the end. So I'm just going to secure this like this. Secure. And double it twice and sew it twice so it will be secure. Then you cut. Yeah, so this is how I sewed this part. So repeat the same thing you did here, just sew it down like this to close, and we are done. Okay guys, so I am done sewing at this point and at this point, and this is what you should be having. And then I will turn this to the front like this. Turn this to the front. Yeah, but this is what you should be having at this point. Yes, so this is what you should be having. Yeah, so we've come to the end of this tutorial. Yeah, and this is my phone, and I'm going to put it inside here. To insert it inside here like this. Yeah. Okay, so that's basically it. So we've come to the end of this iPhone pocket tutorial, the crochet version. Yes, and that's one thing I really love about being a crocheter. You can DIY or do it yourself. Any crochet, any project at all. Yes, you can recreate anything at all. That's why I love being a crocheter. So yeah, I really hope you found the story helpful and easy to follow. So please, if you had any confusion, please drop your questions in the comment section. And remember, like I said, that I'm going to be releasing another, like 2 more patterns for this iPhone crochet tutorial. Yes, iPhone pocket crochet tutorial. Yeah, there are 2 more patterns and different ways that you can also make this pattern. So yeah, that's basically it. So please like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in my next tutorial. Bye.